Pencils. Do we have the agenda? Does everybody have a copy of the agenda?
Right in the middle, yeah.
There's a copy right up there. Justin.
Justin, can you
He's
grab
my
a?
man. He's got it. He's a great guy.
Hello, welcome. It is July 10th, and this is the special joint commission meeting between HRC and YPAC. We are getting really good at having these joint meetings. How lovely. Call to order, please.
Meeting called to order at 7:15. And we'll do a roll call of the Police Advisory Commission. Gail,
Present.
Eric,
Present.
Herman,
Present.
Kathleen. And then we have Human Relations Commission, Kat.
Present.
Juanita is absent. And Jennifer.
Present.
Brittany is absent. And then Justin.
Here. Present.
Olivia is absent. And Danielle. Did I miss somebody? Oh, all right, great.
Awesome. Thank you very much. A gentle reminder, we are being taped. So when we talk, if you could talk into your microphones, because it's also being recorded to make sure that people can hear after the fact. Agenda approval. Does anybody have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second. Thank you. Minutes, we don't have any minutes.
Do we need a vote?
Yeah, and we need all those in favor.
Aye.
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 We do have, my apologies, we do have minutes
We do have minutes from last, because it was just
from last meetings. Thank you. First thing that we're going to have is we have a presentation on the drug checking service.
We have to approve the minutes. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Did we do,
We did.
we approved the agenda. We
That was
didn't
the
approve the
agenda, so we just need a
minutes.
motion.
a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Kat.
Sorry.
Now we have the presentation on the drug services in Ypsilanti.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Corn, Ypsi Township. I've been in Ypsilanti, Ypsi Township since 2006. And I spoke with you briefly in public comment at your last meeting about drug checking services in Ypsi. We basically are trying to set up a harm reduction center right across the street from here, actually, where we offer a service where folks can bring in samples of what's being sold in the streets in Ypsilanti. And we can test them for them to let them know levels of toxicity, concentration of toxic agents, and keep them safe and offer them informed consent. So this is something that we've been working on with the prosecutor. He started off giving us a letter of intent saying that he wasn't going to prosecute anyone who is a program participant for personal use amounts of any substance or trace amounts of any substance, as long as they are in good faith utilizing drug checking services. So that has moved forward with his substance use work group, which is a group of folks who are from like the Ann Arbor, Ypsi area, in various like recovery institutions in the county. And we are currently working with them. We're in the second round of language for this policy. So it will be forwarded by the prosecutor's office soon. The second round of language has been approved, which means that he will no longer be prosecuting folks in Washtenaw County at all who are a part of a drug checking program for possession of personal use amounts or trace amounts of any substance. Since he will not be prosecuting, I don't think there really is a reason or YPD to be arresting folks or to be spending city funds investigating or arresting people when no case is going to come out of it because the county prosecutor has already committed not to prosecute it, right? So we're aside from the fact that we would be wasting city funds continuing to investigate and arrest folks. There's a lot that I've spoken with council and YPAC about a few times on like racial disparities in criminalization that go on in America, and Ypsi as a city not necessarily being excluded from that. We all know about the history of racism in this country. And there has been some conversations lately about changing some of our practices in policing to make them less inherently racist. And the way that we approach substance use is a big part of that conversation. So we've been treating substance use the same since the 1930s. So for the last 100 years, we've had the same treatment for folks who are alcoholics, deemed alcoholics, or deemed to have substance use disorders. We don't treat anything the same for 100 years. There are evidence-based practices. It's called harm reduction that are proven to keep people alive, proven to reduce the number of fatal overdoses, proven to reduce negative health impacts of substance use. For whatever reason, we're having a lot of trouble implementing those practices because the laws do not necessarily line up with the evidence. So there's a lag. We know what works. We're doing what works, but we're doing it illegally. We're risking getting arrested to do what works and help people. And the folks who could be taking advantage of the services are kind of hesitant because they're worried that they're going to get locked up, right? So what we need is some accountability on the part of the police. When this came up for a vote at city council, the police chief kind of said he was not in favor of it. He opposed it, and he opposed it because he said that it wasn't an issue in Ypsi, that there's only been 2 narcotics arrests in the last few months, and so it's not necessary to tell him who he should be looking to investigate and who he shouldn't be. So to me, all this is a level of accountability for law enforcement to follow the directives from the prosecutor, which I don't understand why that's an issue. I really, really don't. Specifically, if there's no narcotics arrests that are happening, then he's not really changing anything either. And all this is doing is putting in place a policy that will make folks feel comfortable actually coming and utilizing services that are proven to save their lives. I know I had these slides that I was going to go through with you guys. You all have them in front of you. The data is there. The first few slides really just talk about how there hasn't been any significant decrease in overdose deaths in Michigan in the past 5 years. The only significant change in overdose fatality rates is that more Black people are dying than ever before. That's the significant change, is that Black folks are dying faster than any other race from fatal overdoses in the state of Michigan. The other thing that it states is that Ypsilanti specifically has the highest amount of fatal overdoses in all of Washtenaw County, and the second highest in all of Washtenaw and all of Wayne County. It's second only to Detroit. So to think that we don't have a problem that needs to be addressed in our city, I think is ignoring the data entirely. So again, what we're proposing, there's studies that are in that presentation that you guys have in front of you that basically were surveys of all of the existing drug checking programs in the country, kind of what hurdles they were facing in getting participants and getting set up, what works to help get them set up, and then the impact that they had in the communities that they were operating. And across the board, it has all been positive. Less people die, less people get sick. So what we're asking is a public health approach to something that has been treated as a criminal issue for a very, very long time. And the reason we're asking is because people are dying still. We've been talking about this since way before COVID. You know, we've been talking about this since for a very, very long time, and no change has really come. You know, the city of Ypsi aligned its paraphernalia policy with the state. The state has come out and said that they agree that their policy is lacking. You know, it's another slide in there talks about two House bills that are currently in committee for the state legislature to do exactly what a part of this policy, this resolution is asking for, which is to decriminalize paraphernalia across the board for syringe service program participants. We had a skill share across the street at Fed Up just today, and people handed us from July 2nd paraphernalia tickets because they had dirty needles. And the gentleman was coming from a methadone clinic when the police picked him up. So this is somebody who was literally engaging what we told him to do to be a person in recovery, right? He's doing what he was asked to do as a substance user, and he's again being criminalized for it. And this is an individual who's unhoused. So how is he going to fight that ticket? What is he supposed to do? So if we don't have our municipal leaders, if we don't have our city government standing up for citizens and holding law enforcement accountable, this is going to just continue to happen. So I know the Police Advisory Commission, that's kind of like your purview. This very much fits into the Human Relation Commission's purview as well. The majority of our participants are definitely going to be within the unhoused community. We definitely are going to be dealing with a lot of very vulnerable populations, including BIPOC folks. And 100% it's a discrimination issue and a mental health issue. As we know, substance use disorder is in the DSM, right? That's what it is. That's how they diagnose somebody with a substance use disorder, is the same way they diagnose somebody with depression, right? But I guarantee you the way we treat depression has changed in the last 100 years. The way we treat substance use disorders has not. So we need to make some positive change in this. People are dying every single day, and they're dying faster in our city than anywhere else in Washtenaw County. So I ask you guys, you know, to take your time and kind of look through this, and also to reach out to me with any questions, because my ask for you as a joint commission would be to put together a resolution, just asking city council to again vote on what they tied on the last time they voted on it. So we had support for this resolution. You should have the language for it in your emails. And yeah, like I said, we got a 3-3 vote the first time. I think maybe with some support from your commissions and a few conversations with the folks who voted no, this is something that we should be able to get passed in the city, and we can start offering life-saving services to the folks who need it most. So yeah, if you have any questions, I don't know. Like I said, with the shorter time, I didn't want to run through the slides. So, but I'd love to answer some questions.
I have a question, and this is coming from the YPAC position.
Yeah.
Is the ticket that you were talking about, was it a Washtenaw County or a YPD?
It was a paraphernalia
No,
ticket.
no, but who did it come from? Who issued the ticket?
It was Pittsfield.
Pittsfield.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
Pittsfield.
so it
And
was
then
in Pittsfield.
it was Pittsfield, and then he was taken to St. Joe's from there. He was told that he could either go to jail or go to the hospital. And even though he was a methadone patient, when he got to St. Joe's, they Narcaned him twice and kicked him into precipitated withdrawals. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, no, I was just curious with who issued the ticket.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so in line with that, and I agree that having a more robust harm reduction infrastructure in the city of Ypsilanti makes sense. And having law enforcement buy-in to that is a critical piece. So the prosecutor said, I'm going to write this letter of intent and we're not going to prosecute people who are making use of this service. Where do Pittsfield EMU and the sheriff's department stand on this, to your knowledge? And you may not know.
So to my knowledge, they're going to be brought on right as the policy is published. And so my conversations with the prosecutor have been that the only police chief or the only head of law enforcement he's spoken with about this specifically is Chief Moore,
Hmm.
and that he was speaking with the rest of them about it because it is countywide. At like once the policy is being issued. However, like we want this program in Ypsi. We don't want it in any other city in Washtenaw County because again, Ypsi has the highest BIPOC population and we're the ones who are dying. So we don't want drug checking in Ann Arbor. We don't want drug checking in Chelsea. We want it in Ypsi because that's where the need is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you.
And I think the thought is that EMU, Pittsfield, the county, YPD, they can all arrest an individual still for drug paraphernalia. However, that arrest is going to be a waste of taxpayers' money and time and loss of individuals' life of liberty to go to jail whenever they're not going to have a prosecution moved forward. And so that's kind of the thought is how we as a body can support having a drug checking services program in the city and asking that with that, there comes a resolution that says that they're not going to be arrested for being participants in this program, because even if you're arresting them, the prosecutor's not going to prosecute them. So we're literally wasting money and that individual's life. So that's kind of the thought behind that.
No, no, I understand that part. My concern is very specifically that like we could have all our ducks in a row with respect to the city of Ypsilanti and still have people jammed up by the tons of overlaid jurisdictions here. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
the question.
absolutely. And what we're hoping is like if that happens, that by the DA not
Yeah, totally.
following
Yeah.
through on any of those cases, that ultimately they'll be like, oh, it's capricious to continue.
I have no incentive.
Yeah, arresting folks and
Right.
shut it down.
And also the reason why I asked specifically who issued the ticket is because we worked with Ashley on the harm reduction.
Yeah.
And so if this was an Ypsilanti ticket, then by an Ypsi YPD ticket, then there'd be a very different conversation happening. Because it was so that's was the rationale behind this, because, so we are well aware and we have been working with the harm reduction. So this is
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
For bringing this up and so, yes.
Yeah, I think engaging the community is like the only way to get real information. I appreciate that the staff liaison for YPAC is here at the meetings to give you guys reports. But I think realistically to know kind of how policing is being handled in the community, we should be asking community members who are being policed. Right. And generally the feedback from those individuals is consistent with what we know to be true. Right. And that's like people feel harassed, people feel targeted, people feel profiled, and they feel like they're experiencing pretext. And this is anybody that you talk to who, again, is an unhoused or from a vulnerable population or a drug user is going to respond. They're going to give you those responses. So it's really difficult to like hear that from participants and then hear the chief say, oh no, we don't do that. It's not a problem, right? Because there's a clear disconnect there. And I'm not saying that he doesn't express to his officers how to conduct themselves. What I'm saying is that there's who is overseeing them to make sure that that's how they're conducting themselves, right? So again, accountability.
Just a question too. I'm just learning a little bit more about some of the policies and the ways that this program has worked in other cities.
Yeah.
My question is, if it's good for Ypsilanti to be able to have a place for people to check in, what is the holdup? And it's a good policy just in general for people from your perspective. That's what I'm hearing today from you. What's the pushback from having that same level of freedom in Ann Arbor, Dexter, or wherever? Because I mean, even though obviously there's more going on here in our area, as you shared and pointed out, but why not make a policy that should be a place within every community where people can come to and make sure that, they're not going to be charged?
Yes.
So I guess my question is, what's the pushback for the other areas as well?
There's so much. Yeah, there's so much. It's basically just stigma and indoctrination. That's what it comes down to, is that folks look at drug users as kind of like the bottom of the system. And so at the end of the day, it's very, very difficult to find folks who are going to advocate for people who use drugs. That's just what it is out here. The reason I advocate is because I'm a person who uses drugs. You know, I'm a person in recovery and a person who uses drugs, which is crazy for folks to wrap their mind around, because we have 100-year-old view on what recovery is. But that point is, yes, we do need it in other municipalities too. For me personally, Ipsy is important, is I'm from Ipsy. I have been in Ipsy for a long time and seen a lot of people die. A lot. I've lost more friends than I care to think about. I myself have been resuscitated multiple times. This is very, very close to the chest for me. And we need it in Ipsy, and I'm sick of seeing Black communities get passed over and Black folks dying. That's it. And we have enough Black melanated people in city government to make a difference for the rest of us right now. We have it. So it needs to happen.
Has this
Yeah,
been,
Oh, Kathleen, go ahead, Kathleen.
has this been presented to, Ypsilanti Township officials?
Uh-uh. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, it is not.
Okay.
It has not. No, I haven't heard anything. I've been pretty open throughout Ypsilanti about my intentions for drug checking. I've also been really, really open about my intentions for emerging therapies for mental health, specifically psychedelic assisted therapy. And so no one from Ypsi Township has approached me at all about any of those things.
And so, two things. First of all, I have not looked this over, but I'm curious, is there data in here that shows that the drug checking services actually has a direct correlation to saving lives or fewer folks being arrested, for using the services? That's one thing. But the other piece of that is, I want to add on to that is, I'm on the Ypsilanti Police Advisory Commission. I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to be I don't know the word, one-minded. I'm going to be just heading down one-way road. I'm about Ipsy.
Yeah, you focus.
You know what I'm saying? So this is what I will put my energies into seeing that Ypsilanti is getting the best services, opportunities, options to help the community of Ypsilanti. So I want to be able to look into this and go, yes, I can see this, so that I can advocate with the committee as well as with the Ypsilanti Police Department. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's where I'm
absolutely.
at.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. And yes, so that study that I was talking about,
Right.
when you get to the page that has it on there, they basically did a review of like all the drug checking programs and offered a data review. The reference for the actual journal publication is on there. And so you can look up the study, and it'll have all the information. It'll tell you all of the positive and the negative impacts, kind of what helped and what hurt. And it's very comprehensive.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I have a quick question. Yes. So I don't know if it includes it in here, but what exactly does the drug checking cover, and does it most importantly cover fentanyl?
I'm so happy that you asked. So it actually covers like everything. So the specific drug checking that we're going to be doing works is it uses infrared light to basically analyze a sample. And so any substance that is known and they have basically a reference for, they can then check for, right? So it's literally any scientifically known substance is added to the library, and you upload the library and you can check for it. It's everything. And unlike the fentanyl test strips or the xylazine test strips where it'll just tell you like yes or no, it lets you know exactly like, hey, this is really concentrated, this is less concentrated. It breaks it down for you. Which again, folks are not afraid of using fentanyl anymore because it's been in the dope for so long. They actually, if they get a bag that doesn't have fentanyl in it, they'll end up in withdrawal because they're now dependent on fentanyl. So folks using test strips they're not gonna say, hey, I'm not gonna use this sample because it tested positive for fentanyl. Now, if they're at the program and we tell them like, hey, this is all fentanyl, like the peak for heroin is down here and the peak for fentanyl is up here. If you use this, you are gonna OD. They might say, I don't care, but then you can be like, listen, here's naloxone. Make sure you're using with at least one or two other people. Make sure they're not using at the same time as you, right? And so that you have an opportunity for risk reduction counseling. And that's the beautiful thing about these programs is we're not just asking folks to bring in samples so we can check out their drugs and tell them like, hey, what you're doing is dangerous or it's not as dangerous. What we're trying to do is gauge their get a temperature check and say, hey, has anybody asked you recently, like, what do you need? Are you okay? Like, what can we help you with? Do you have insurance? Do you have housing? Do you have food? Are your kids okay? Like, these are all questions that you can have in a conversation with people at a program like this. And again, when I have these conversations with folks now, because we're already doing this work, we don't want this policy passed for us. We're doing the work. It doesn't matter. We all have charges. We've all been to jail. It doesn't matter. It's the participants feeling comfortable enough to come in and take advantage of the services to utilize them and get help. That's why we need the policy passed. It's not about us. If they want to arrest us, go ahead and arrest us. That's fine. You're gonna post bond and go back to work, you know? So yeah, it's about the citizens.
Daniel.
Yep, like just to say, first, I just want to thank you. First, I just want to also just thank you for being willing to get into an arena like this to help a stigma, a community that has been stigmatized in so many different ways and hasn't gotten the proper care and support that's necessary to help people out of addiction, dealing with any other type of life trauma or mental illness or anything like that. So I just want to first, I want to say thank you for just the work that you're doing and give my condolences. You mentioned that you had a number of friends that you lost along the way. And I've lost some friends as well. So I just wanted just to point that out and just say my deepest condolences to you as well.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, bro. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for the presentation and for everyone on the commission listening and asking questions. I think it's important to ask questions because it shows you're engaged and you're curious to know more. And I'm in favor of putting together a joint resolution to go to council, and I'm looking forward to having that discussion with other commissioners, hopefully, because I think it's important. So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, and I support that also. Yeah, I want to go in there and get as much information I can from you directly as well, because it seems like you're very knowledgeable. So anywhere I can support this, let me know.
Well, I mean, that sounded like a motion and a support to me. So I guess I got to vote. But no, I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you guys. And I try to be as candid as possible anytime I get a chance to be up here and speak with you because I know you have a lot on your plates and your time is valuable. So like I said, thank you.
Jennifer, do you have anything? Daniel, I just want to make sure we have all. Herman, Michelle, Katie, anything?
Did you have some, Jennifer?
Oh, I just thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I think, the number one thing that we forget is that oftentimes in an area like this, you see a lot, on the street and things like that. You're aware of these things, and to be educated and have something like this to help the people and to make you feel like you're part of the community too. It doesn't matter what you're doing or what you've done. I mean, we've all done something. So just to have that, that's keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. We're trying to show love, you know, that's it.
And as a general thank you for people using the word substance use rather than substance abuse. Just really appreciate that because it's important to have a language change in how we describe people's practices and behaviors. So thank you.
Herman?
And I also want to thank you, but I also want to get back to what I thought I heard you say, which was that you were working on putting together policy based on something that you've seen before, correct? That
No,
was
so
in
the
Ypsilanti?
Yeah, so the resolution has actually already been authored and it was, so there's a policy from the prosecutor's office that the second version of the draft language has just been approved. So I'm a part of that language process. So I took the language from his policy directly and just made a resolution for the city of Ypsi based on that to not arrest people or personal use amounts or trace amounts or paraphernalia if they are a part of a syringe service program or a drug checking program. That's it. And so that's exactly what his policy says he's not going to prosecute for. And so rather than like try to make it more more difficult to digest, I literally just took his verbiage from his policy so that it wouldn't necessarily come off like I was trying to write my own policy on drug checking for Ypsilanti. I took the language directly from the prosecutor.
And you mentioned, do we have that in?
You have that in your emails.
I emailed it
email?
out. I emailed it to Roland, Katie, Lori. I can't email all of y'all because of Open Meetings Act requirements and
Oh, okay.
just
Was it sent?
So.
today. I received it today.
Oh,
this
man,
morning. You're okay.
Man,
It'll be in your inbox
check.
hopefully
Okay, so
soon.
it happened sometime
Ugh.
after.
It
10 o'clock
happened.
this-
Yes, correct.
Okay, 'cause
And
I haven't been on email since 10 o'clock
sure,
this morning.
me either, but
Thank
the
you.
Okay.
That's, I was like,
okay.
thank you very much.
Ooh,
The resolution Corn
Okay.
is referring to was at a prior city council meeting. And that is the resolution that I had sent an email for y'all to have received. I can't send directly to you. I sent to
Okay.
you.
Right,
But I can't send to all of y'all unfortunately, but that's the resolution that was at the city council meeting and was voted no because of a 3-3.
Yeah, it
and one.
failed. It failed in a tie.
Yeah.
And the mayor wasn't present for the vote, which I know she's a social worker and supports harm reduction. So, we're excited to get it, back on the agenda.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Wow. Great enlightening way to start a meeting on such important issues. Public comments. Do we have anybody in the house? Or virtually? There is a hand
Oh yeah, there's a hand online.
online.
Ashley will allow you to talk. Wanna go ahead and unmute?
Hi everyone. I just left Ipsy a little while ago, so I wanted to get back home to make sure the kids ate and all that. So I apologize for not being there.
Already number
Uh,
one.
right. My name is Ashley Shukite. I'm a harm reductionist, public health consultant, and most importantly, a person with living experience of various substance use, mental health conditions, and a chronic pain patient. I wear a bunch of different hats. But today I really just wanted to show support for this resolution and any types of changes that I've seen everyone, make over the years in Ipsy. There's so much more that we could be doing. Today, as Corn mentioned, that meeting, we sat with 47 people. That was members of the city of Ipsy. And yes, while some were, essentially tortured and targeted while they crossed over to Pittsfield, right, to go to their substance use treatment. Many of them mentioned various concerns with police and drug checking. And that was the overall theme. All of them wanted to keep themselves their family, and other members in the community safe. They wanted to keep the community cleaned up, and they really just wanted it to be peaceful, given that many were unhoused and just waiting for housing. We had one person with children, 4 kids who've not been housed in 2 years. And the struggles that they're facing daily, speaking to these people on the street, right? And just really understanding their survival and what that looks like. All of them wanted to participate, whether that was just syringe access, drug checking, they all want to be a part of that. But their major concerns were police involvement. I am on a research team with some world renowned researchers under a CDC grant, and we have found over and over again that drug seizures, police involvement increase the risk of overdoses in community. So anytime that we can reduce police contact for individuals or involving them in the criminal legal system is going to improve their health at an individual level as well as the community health. And so I ask you if anything you could do, if just reflect on these policies, make the resolution, and really just listen with an open ear that we're here to provide compassionate support for our individuals. Because currently, when we collect samples to see what is going on in our community, sometimes it takes 3 weeks for me to get results back. Unfortunately, sometimes people are already dead by the time I get those results to them. And so I really beg you all to just reflect on this. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask myself, Corn, anybody. Like, we can all discuss this. The state is also trying to sponsor drug checking programs. So everybody's on board, but we need to put it in writing and get people to feel comfortable utilizing those services. Thank you.
Thank you.
very much, Ashley. Anybody?
else online would like to speak?
Thank you. Action items for the HRC three-part community forum. And if we are going with what agreed upon, we agreed about mental health, housing, public safety. Treatment? You have something?
Yeah, I'm confused, which is not unusual, I know. So the forum, I thought the entire series was about mental health and how it's impacted by or within the police or within the community. So it's not, there's going to be a mental health forum, and then there's going to be a forum on housing.
I'm happy to share a little bit too, if that's helpful when you're done. Sorry.
But when we talked about it, go for it if you want.
Okay, sure. Whenever we first reached out to the YPAC commission after discussing on our commission, our goals as a commission body was to have a town hall that we're now calling a community forum series that talked about public safety as it relates to other concepts beyond traditional policing, like mental health, housing, and just general public safety. And so when we all met and reached out to Chair Gail, I'm sorry, I'm like Wolkoff. We mentioned this need for a community forum series. And so what we decided on was the first one would be on mental health, the second one would be on housing, and the third one would be public safety. So it's a 3-part series, which is why we're going to be breaking it up to today to have more logistics decided. Did that clear up your?
No, it just gets me deeper into where my thoughts are.
Oh, no.
Please share.
Okay.
Which are, when I look at this,
Mm-hmm.
I think the large umbrella is mental health, period. And so all of these aspects or all of these areas are, can be, have been, will be impacted by the mental health situation, whether it's a person who's having a crisis or whether it's how the police department, if you will, I'm just going to use Ypsi Police Department, how they address a particular call or situation. They get there and find out that there's an episode that's happening. So that's mental health to me. And that's got to be addressed in some kind of a way that's going to be helpful and not, create more harm. If it's, housing, we have people who don't have places or facilities, to stay in, and there may be a mental health component. There probably is a mental health component around that besides an economic component, which is, if you don't have a decent job, you don't have money to pay rent, then you can't, but you need someplace to stay. So, you know what I'm saying? I was looking at that as, that is what the forum is going to be about. So my picture has been that the first session would be inviting the community, inviting everyone, social workers, therapists, anyone who works in the area of human relations and trying to help people to move along in life or get further down the road to wherever it is that they're going. We would be gathering that information from folks, letting them know that we want to know what is it has been your concern, your problems, that kind of stuff. And then from that, you break out into, you have your breakout sessions, which will get you that information from all different walks, places, ideas. And then from there, you would have, oh, okay, so this can go into the public safety bucket. And we're going to focus a forum on public safety and how you, chief, how you and the team or the crew, handle things or don't handle things, or how can you better approach things or address things. And the same thing with the housing. Then we'd have another forum where this is all about, and this is what came from that first session. People just gave their input, and then they said, okay, well, housing is a big issue and mental health has a big part of that. And we have all kinds of people in the community that can support or help or bring information to the group to how do we problem solve that? What kinds of things can we do and what has been done and all that kind of stuff.
I
Anyway,
think go ahead. Go ahead.
that's where I was at. So I didn't see mental health as
You were
one,
talking first.
then housing.
I'll keep it short. I think that's a good approach. That way we're receiving what we need to hear from the community. And then from there, we can just engage and keep on engaging. So I love that approach.
And my hope too was that the facilitator, whoever it is, I have no idea who the facilitator or the mediator or the person is going to be, that would be their main focus would be to draw out, help us to organize some sort of a situation or setting so that we get that information, and then they would help to put these various situations or ideas in a bucket. So that here's a housing bucket. I'm just using that again. Here's a public safety bucket. Okay. Now we can come together with, we need people to have ideas, suggestions of things they have done or things that they could do or things that they wish would happen so that we could, that's just where I was coming from.
Thank you.
All right.
So I guess two things. I think what you're describing is not actually super different from what Kat and everyone else is describing. I think that we're just using different words to talk about them.
Okay.
And I do think though that I guess I imagine kind of the umbrella being the community broadly, like the health of the community. And then there's mental health, there's housing, there's public safety. Because to your point, there are aspects of all of these or of at least the housing and public safety pieces that don't necessarily have to do with mental health, right? Like I can be worried about an interaction with law enforcement in being totally of sound mind, right? With no crisis occurring. And so like I would want a space in the forum on public safety to be not just about like, well, how do we approach this? How do we make sure the police have enough sensitivity training or whatever so that when someone's in a mental health crisis, they're treated appropriately? I want to make sure that every person, regardless of sort of mental health vulnerability status, is getting what they need and deserve from law enforcement. And likewise with housing, right? Like if you, sure, a leading cause of homelessness or co-occurring, situation with homelessness is a mental health problem, mental illness. And you can also just like you can be vulnerable in lots of ways that have nothing to do with mental health. And so I want to make sure that we make the space to discuss all those items and not just look at like the mental health causes and fixes
Right.
for those other areas.
If I may add to that, unless you want to,
Oh.
okay. Yes, I agree. Commissioner,
Eric,
huh?
Commissioner Mohammed.
Yes, what you just said, that the whole, when we first, as the liaison at the time, we didn't have a chair, so we were I was nominated to reach out to you. When I had first reached out back in March, the goal that we had described was we want something that is a town hall along the lines of what Commissioner Mohammed said, which is community wellness. How do we define safety? Because how I may define safety may be different than how someone else defines safety. What does that look like? And to actually get a better engagement of that, people in the community have been talking about the issues and what is needed and what they need from the county or the city for a very long time. I personally have been doing research just since the summer, and I've seen already a collective list of things that people have been asking for that isn't happening. So I don't really think that approaching this as a way of like, let's collect more information from people of what issues they're experiencing when we already really know what issues people are experiencing. We saw this more as like how do we have a meeting to talk about actions that can come of this, that we as a commission body can support, kind of going off of what you shared at the library last time about an action report that comes of it, of like what we can do as a commission to move forward to the city council, to supporting policies that promote these issues and community wellness. So that's kind of the goal that was initially described and what I thought we were all on the same page of, which is how do we approach public safety and community wellness with these three different brackets that are very big issues plaguing our community right now. And rather than asking and soliciting people just to tell us their issues, for us just to make note of that again, how can we take note of that and make action items and hear what do they think could be done? Because people have been sharing their issues for a very long time. So it's like, what can be done now? And that's how I visualize this town hall to be, or this community forum series.
And if I would concur with all of this, and one of the things that we had talked about, and that we would have a facilitator, mediator, who would have in this community health be able to break it down into whether it was breakout sessions or help us listen to the community to find those things in those areas of what needs to happen.
Yes.
Justin and then Daniel.
Yeah, no, I hear both sides of what everybody is saying. Yeah, we agree that we could just do these three, it might expedite the process to go ahead and take some action. I agree with that, but also look at like, it's still good to get in there to get the engagement of people. It's just, are these the three that are the ones that we want to focus on? Also?
We don't know that. The
Yeah,
community may
and-
tell us something totally different.
Right. Well, then again, that kind of goes back to what he
Right.
was saying. That
And that's entirely possible. It's entirely
Daniel.
possible. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Daniel.
Just-
Sorry.
I wanted just to echo a little bit of what
Move up to your microphone, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo the sentiments that have been shared as well of just there's a lot of research that has been done. There's a lot of life experience that we know is already here. And there's some really practical things that can be done now to engage the community. And I think that, so I'm excited about that. And I know that it's a process for the city to build relationship with the community itself, and that is also, I think, part of this work as well, for us to be out in the community, getting to know the felt needs relationally. And that takes time, and it takes presence, and it takes being willing to show up in those places through even these types of forums and others. And so I just, I guess I'm bringing that up just to, I think what I would love to see take place is that there, at the end of the day, that this translates into us getting out there.
I'm going to
Not
propose
complicating it.
that we move on and we come up with dates and times, because we potentially have a facilitator who can work with the dates and times that we talked about originally. So if we could just move our way and see if we can move forward, and if we still have questions, we can answer some of these questions as we move forward. So determine 3 dates and times for the mental health community. Justin, you had mentioned, and then Daniel, I'll be checking in with your facilitator. What did you learn from Leah Chapman Mills?
So, and again, I apologize to everybody because initially when Lee and I had the conversation, she was like, "Oh yeah, we were excited to do it." So I just came back and said, "Yes, she could do it." But when I actually gave her the date, it happened to be her birthday, and she was going to be out of town. So from there, she had sent me a message. Yes, she could do it the following days, but these days are coming up fast. So we're not going to be ready in the time. So it was 8, 9, 12, and the 16th of this month. I'm not going to do that.
July 8, 9.
Yeah, yeah. So, but she also had
I'm
that.
sorry.
Wait, can you wait? You went
That-
too fast.
The only one that's available is the 16th,
yeah.
and that's not possible. So we can just forget that.
Yeah,
part.
we're not
Yeah.
gonna have time.
Okay, but we
So,
have to have this in the notes, so that's why
okay,
I'm asking you to slow down, because
I'm sorry.
we need this in
I'm
notes.
sorry. Forgot. We'll have a-
8, 9, 12, and 16. Got it.
All right. So with that being said, she still says she's willing and she wants to. So we could pick a date. I could tell her, and then I can send a message back.
So move forward with dates. Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel, had you heard anything from Adrian?
No, I did reach out a few times, but I will continue to reach out.
Okay.
I had a good conversation, but then
So we haven't heard from her. So right now, Leah is willing, and the facilitator that we had agreed upon, or do we want to open the floor to, but that's out of order.
I think we should pick dates because we can just give the facilitators that we have.
Okay.
That's what I think we should do, is pick dates, because that's the biggest, I think, roadblock in our way right now.
Do we need to vote on this?
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Well,
Someone want to make a motion?
what are we making a
Yeah.
motion on?
That we're gonna-
Voting on.
That we're
what are you
going to
voting on?
pick dates? I don't understand.
Making a motion on dates, or we're gonna make a motion on?
That we're going to pick dates, even though it's on the agenda. I don't know. Do we need?
Make a motion.
I don't
know either. I don't know either.
I just continually, never mind. Doesn't matter what.
We don't need a motion.
Okay, we don't
have
need,
to pick
okay, so
dates.
dates. So do people have their calendars?
Once we
Do you by chance have the
have
city
consensus,
counselor?
somebody,
Yeah, we got it.
somebody should.
For the dates.
For
Yeah,
the dates,
For sure.
okay. Are we looking at August?
At the absolute earliest.
August, I'm just going out there. August?
Yeah,
I'm hearing that August needs to go, we need to go farther than August.
I think it'd be good to aim at least a month out for the
Okay, so
first
we're
one.
looking at September.
Well, a month out from today would be August 7th. So we could at
Okay,
least.
so we're
look
back
for-
in August.
Yeah, I vote September personally.
Oh, okay, that's
I just
fine.
think like,
Yeah, I'm
we're
cool.
definitely not getting through this whole agenda today.
Okay, then let's do that. I agree with that. So let's look at September.
Can I, I mean, can I just put for a moment, just for discussion, because
Absolutely, Daniel.
for like, if we wait another, we can do another month. I just feel like more time goes by without any interaction. And it seems like at some point, something would be good to do. And how long does it take to really put together a forum like this? What do
Yeah,
we
So
need?
far,
What's the
approximately 6
general?
hours.
Depends on how.
It's not there.
Daniel, I mean, Justin, what were you gonna say?
And this might be really informal, probably stuff. Just call Leah and see just to make sure that those times in the month, everything should be free, and then maybe we could just put it around her time.
Just gonna say, do we want to get her?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I mean, literally, I'll call.
Well, let's pick a date.
Wait.
I would just say today is her actual birthday.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Not
if that's
ours.
something that we should do. I think if we're going to pick dates, let's pick dates.
Yeah.
What do you think about, I mean, I just want to put it back out there, instead of waiting another month. What are your thoughts?
Give
about
us a date.
Sometime in August.
Okay, August
Mid-
21st.
Mid-August.
August 21st.
It's a Wednesday.
August 21st is a Wednesday.
I make a motion that the first community forum series should be August 21st, and I propose it would be a 6 o'clock start.
Second that.
Is it a 6 until, or is there a 6, just 6?
I think, I didn't,
Let's-
even-
let's
yeah,
walk
let's just
before we
do, let's
run,
just
or-
do August 21st at 6 o'clock. I made the motion.
Yep.
Daniel made the second,
Or Justin.
or Justin made the second. Sorry about that.
Have we looked at the city council or the city's calendar? Or do we not worry about that?
I know it's not a council meeting. Not on
I think we should-
Tuesday.
Work.
It's not a council, okay?
And it'd be good to find out if there's other meetings that are similar that are gonna happen around that too. I'd heard there's another forum happening in the Park Ridge area.
Yeah.
So,
There's a planning commission meeting.
There's a PIHAB Planning Commission meeting.
I don't
When's the
know that
Park
that-
Ridge meeting?
I don't know that
Oh, look.
Justin's checking it out.
I don't know that that's the end of the world. I mean,
Right, no, I'm just.
Yeah.
That's coming.
There we go.
That's
got wildly attended.
Oh, that's fine, okay.
Okay, so I made a motion, Justin made a second.
Oops.
Can we get a roll call?
Favor deal.
Yeah, I think
All
so.
in favor for having the first of the community health meetings to be August 21st, beginning at 6 PM. Is this a voice or is this
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Cool. August 21st.
Wednesdays are gonna be trouble.
Do y'all think it would be in the best interest if we do like a month in between the forums?
Yeah,
Can people,
think
like
that's
a
a-
month in between
Yep.
forums?
I think that's plenty of time.
Yeah, so then that would kind of put us at the next one would be September 18th would be the next one. That would be exactly a month.
Yep. That could work.
I'm just trying to keep it moving. So I'll make another motion for September 18th at 6 o'clock for the second one on housing.
Second that.
So this would be the second part of the community health
Correct.
meetings, whatever you
Yeah,
learned
sure.
from the first one, it's the second one.
Sure, yeah. That's perfect. But we know for sure, if we all vote in favor, that it would be September 18th at 6.
Yeah, my only question would be, would be that if we continue to do them exactly a month apart, then they all would be on the same night, and then they'd all be on planning commission nights, which again,
Also, just if people can't.
or the same night, right? Like the same, if you have them
I
exactly.
work
one
late
month.
that day or whatever.
Right, I cannot be there.
Or if, right, like, if you want to vary it, if you do it exactly 1 month on the same
Right.
exact night at the same exact time.
You think that's a good idea to do that, or you think it's good?
I'm
to
just
mix it
bringing
up?
it up as a point.
We're hitting one demographic of people and their work schedule.
Potentially.
So if you work every Wednesday, or if you work every Thursday, or if you
see.
work second
I
shift,
see.
then you are going to be missing a large population of people versus having it at a different time or on a weekend or something where people who can get there, get a wide variety of people there.
Well, I made the motion already, so I think we have to vote. We can vote no, and then someone can propose another option. That's
Or somebody could vote to, I mean, like, you could amend it. Yeah.
An amendment,
okay.
do a friendly amendment.
Is there,
But what do we,
yeah, another day of
so
the
we're
week?
now in discussion.
Another date in mind? Is there another date in mind? It's around the September.
No, I just threw a bunch of wrenches into it.
Oh.
September
What's that?
18th,
Oh,
19th.
The Human Relations Commission has a meeting on the 19th at 6, so it wouldn't need to be obviously that day.
About that day before.
What about the 21st? It's a Saturday.
Hmm.
In the afternoon,
No,
or
September
in September.
for the second part.
Probably, yeah.
So like, okay,
Around, like, you're thinking around 12 or 1?
like
2
one,
o'clock?
one would be good.
1 o'clock?
Should I make a friendly motion then, friendly amendment to my
Can
emergency?
can you?
Or do I-
change it? You
yeah,
can't- I don't think
okay.
you can change your own amendment.
Okay,
So somebody else has to
Make the amendment for the
friendly amendment.
friendly
to
amendment
change
to change
September 18th.
September 18th
At 6 o'clock
6 o'clock,
to September 20th.
September 21st at 1 p.m. All right.
second
We have a
that.
second.
Oh, go ahead. Who?
Second.
Okay.
All
Uh,
in favor?
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
So September 1st at 1 PM.
No, September 21st. at 1
21st,
PM,
right,
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
Yeah. No
Thank you
worries.
for
Yeah, no problem.
October.
That will be, well, maybe it's right now it's public safety, but the community might decide a different one.
It's the
So,
public health.
That was the housing.
Yeah,
Uh,
September's.
oh, September's is housing. Sorry,
Housing
sorry.
was
Yes,
Sorry,
sorry.
behind you guys.
Sorry about that.
or if the
Yeah.
public,
Housing is the second.
or if the.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, these are all health of the community meetings, and we're having 3 of them. And the idea is that we have 3 topics in our minds, but we are going to leave it for the mediator and facilitator to learn what
Mhm. Sure.
we want.
We put it on the agenda.
I know, right. Thank you, thank you. So October, middle of October, I am gone for 14 days. So just so you know that you can come with us if you want, Kim. Anyway,
Where are you going?
so just, so I will be gone. So, but that doesn't mean you can't have a meeting. I just want to put it out there.
So we did a Wednesday, we
Did
did a
one Saturday.
Saturday. Um,
Can anybody do mornings?
No.
no, not really.
That's a suck.
Okay.
I'm
No,
trying, I'm trying to get,
clarifying.
no,
I
no,
know I
thank you.
sounded
No,
incredulous.
I'm
I didn't
trying to
sound-
get to, I'm really trying to be aware of the 3 shifts that people work.
Right.
And that people work different times. As someone who works second shift, I am so hyper aware of this, that we need to be aware. So it's sounding like mornings is a hard no.
I can-
Awesome.
Or no.
Hard no.
Hard.
Okay.
If it's a Wednesday morning.
No, it's, well, I think we're off Wednesday. Okay, do we have other ideas? Do we know in what holiday?
I think it's good to look at the week.
Do we know when Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are?
I was gonna say it
Third.
might be good to look at the week of October 21st, since that would put us exactly a month from the previous one. To try to give us a month in between.
Back.
Are there other days that seem besides Saturday or Wednesday, or you guys like Saturday as the 26th you want to try for a Thursday, or what do you think for that week? I think that's
Thursday is the 24th. That's our YPAC meeting.
that Friday.
Only if we really have to.
Saturday again, Saturday after.
Is there a council meeting on the Tuesday? That 22nd?
Yes, I would definitely want to steer clear of Tuesdays. What about a Monday, guys?
I'm cool with the Monday. The 21st?
6 o'clock. Make a motion.
Once again,
Oh,
I won't be there, but that doesn't.
You're not
just-
gonna be
just-
there?
No, that's okay. I mean, you can have it without me, but I'm working.
We'll put you on Zoom.
In a car with teenagers.
We're talking about the
it.
20, we're talking about
Monday,
Monday, the 21st,
Monday, the
Oh,
What days are you,
or
Yeah.
about the
what
28th,
days are you available?
well, the 28th.
the 28th would be fine too. It's a little more than a month, but that's fine. Will you be available the 28th, Jennifer?
yes.
What about you, Gail?
during the academic year, I am home by about 8. By the time I get students home, I'm home at 8. So
The 28th of
October.
Mm-hmm.
okay, so we're back to 28th instead of the 21st? At 6 or 7?
Yep.
It's
6?
10, 28, 6. Daniel, did you make that motion?
I'm making the motion right now.
All right.
second the motion.
Okay.
But that's a Monday though, right? So there shouldn't be.
Okay,
I thought you said.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Nope, okay, thank you. So we have the dates. Here's what I learned about the budget is, in order to have Michelle or somebody, excuse me, council person move it forward, we have to make an motion, which we did not make last time at the library. So we have to make an official motion and we need to have an amount before we can move that forward. Do you have more to add to that you could give us insight on?
No, that was the only information that I have. The motion has to be made in the meeting and we just need an amount.
Right.
Keeping in mind that I believe it's $2,000 for all of the committees.
All the commissions, right.
For 1 year.
Yes.
Okay.
So Justin,
Yeah, I'm Justin.
be free?
Right now?
Hey, Leah,
As in the.
Yeah, right. Oh.
is she free? Cause isn't that where the budget, I mean, if she costs, right?
Well, there's a list of things in the agenda.
We have a huge list that we may have to pay for, we may not have to pay for.
Yeah, these are just items to be considered.
So I just wanted to say that this is what happened. This is what I found out about getting the money. So now we can put together a budget. So the location and rental fee. Herman, do you know, is YCS charging us?
They weren't if we were there today. No, I'm not being funny.
Oh, I know that. Okay, so we don't know.
They said
There were
no,
still people.
no cost.
Okay. Right.
I don't mean to laugh, I just.
Well, there's people there, but they're gonna be shut down as
Right.
of August 1st.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There
They're
were
done.
still people.
So we should
building.
shoot to have one of those in September or October when they're there.
Okay, because the 21st, no one potentially is going to be there, so they'd have to open up for us. So we'd have to potentially find another place.
All right, so that's one
Or,
thing for
or
Herman to go
they
run
can,
down.
they would be willing to charge us whatever they gonna charge
Right.
for whoever gonna be there to help open up, close, put stuff away. We're gonna have to do most of the work of picking up, putting up,
Right, right.
backing up, setting up.
Herman, are you willing to check out and see if they'll charge us
For August 21st?
for any of them?
I think for all three.
For all three?
Yes.
Okay.
I
And
think,
then weren't we also talking about the library? The one on Whitaker and the one over on MacArthur? Wasn't that the second choice of
Well,
venues?
but I thought we were gonna have 3 different venues.
I think that what this
One on that side and one on.
This item, but on the agenda is asking for us to just determine an amount, and there's 25 boards and commissions in the city. And there's $2,000 for all of 25 for 1 year. So what we need to do is come up with an amount that we would like to stick to, and then we can decide how we want to allocate after that. But I think that if there's 2,000 for 25 commissions, how much does that put us at each? And then how much of that do we want to spend towards these community forum series? And then we can decide line items, but I don't think that's worth our time in this moment. If like, let's look for free places for sure. Compensation of individuals was important, but if we can look for free building space, that's great. I think the biggest priorities are food. If we can get that for free, that's great. But obviously compensation and ASL interpreter and marketing materials are the huge cost lift, I believe. So I'm just asking if we could just determine an amount that we would like to stick to, knowing that 2,000 is the total for the year for 25 boards and commissions.
The other one was the senior center. I think, Kat, I think you were gonna check with the senior center. That was the second one. Herman was gonna check with Perry and Wise, and Catherine was gonna check with the senior center. That's what was in my minutes. Sorry, I was checking the minutes.
Oh, no,
Thank
please.
you.
I was checking the minutes while Kat was talking.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Does that make sense what I said to folks? Like, does that sound like it makes sense to go about it that way? Just like trying to determine a number first?
Yeah, I think just that would be good. And then it would be nice to, if we're gonna be more active, to get more money in the
Yeah.
budget for.
For next year.
Next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Cause yeah, 2,000 across 25 is not a lot.
80.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say, I recently checked on the senior building. So they have a $200 security deposit and $75 per hour.
Thank you. So, I mean, it would be nice if we could find and prioritize free spaces and free food donations for a really great community event. And utilize the $80 possible funding that we maybe have towards compensation, and maybe even requesting more money if possible. Because that, I know that in our charter, it says that we shall get money. And I know that that was a discretionary decision, even though it shall be done. And so I'm hoping that we could have more in the future. I agree with you, Justin. So I just hope we can just come up with a number. That was the point of this item.
Okay, let's talk food. Oh,
Do you have number 3? What was number 3? YCS
It
is
wa-
this side, senior center was there,
It was Wise and Perry.
Wise and Perry?
Yeah, it was both of the schools.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that way,
So that was the 3. It was the,
okay, so then Herman, are you comfortable
Checking with both of those?
checking with both Wise and Perry?
Yes.
And And then the senior center, we could also call Monica and find out who is the Monica Princess, who is the executive director of the senior center, and actually ask her. Do you want to do that? Do you want me? I'm going to be there tomorrow.
Oh,
if you're
great.
Comfortable.
Yeah, go ahead, please. I'm happy with that.
Oh,
That
yeah,
would be
no, I'm-
amazing if you're
okay.
gonna be there,
We just,
absolutely.
but I just thought I heard Michelle say it's gonna cost
Yeah, we already had.
$400 and we've got that already.
Right, okay.
You might be able to have a
I was gonna
relationship
validate-
belt
I was
where you
gonna valid-
can,
See if that was,
It
Waivable.
was.
could be, if it could be waived.
Oh,
right,
you wanna know?
you could request that. They can say no.
I knew there was something I was supposed to ask her when I saw her at the parade. couldn't
I mean,
remember what it
the
was.
only thing,
I was there today, so I could have talked to him too.
right, we can find out. Okay.
Sat there with her for an hour.
Okay, so,
I have a suggestion.
You need to stay.
I don't want to further complicate things, but maybe the freight house could be an option after you check those venues. Because I know you all stated that you wanted it to also be different places. So you could check what days the schools are available, and the freight house, I could definitely help with that one.
And that's a city property,
right.
so maybe it wouldn't need to be
Right.
costly. So yeah, going back to determining a programming budget, what feels comfortable for folks? Oh, sorry, Jennifer.
Wait, Jennifer.
Jeez.
I had a suggestion,
Yes.
just a minor one,
please.
but a big one possibly, local banks for funding.
Yes.
Bank of Ann Arbor does a lot of community work.
Yep.
Um,
University Bank.
yes, University Bank. Just possibilities to get us a little extra funding.
Jen, is that something you would feel comfortable reaching out to people as like a
I
request?
happen to have a very good relationship with Bank of Ann Arbor.
Amazing. Would you feel like good taking that out for us? Like,
Yes.
okay, cool. Thank you.
Jennifer. Access to money.
Maybe throw me a couple dollars in there too, just for my, just kidding. All right, Jen will take this on. We have our meeting on July 18th, our normal HRC meeting. Would you feel comfortable being able to report back then and we can just email Gail to let other commissioners know for YPAC?
When it comes to money, I only need a day.
Oh, let's go then. Put that in an email. Let's go.
I don't mess with money.
Okay, Eric, you had something to say.
Well, so I feel like we're on to food and beverage costs.
Yep.
I guess I just want to understand what kind of stuff, because like, look, I'm happy to cover food, at least for the first, like food and beverage, at least for the first one. But I just want to understand what we're looking to do. Like,
I got the same question.
yeah, I got little bags of Doritos and Diet Coke.
For the 6 o'clock ones, it would probably make sense to have like some type of light dinner option possibly. I was thinking it might be interesting to reach out to local businesses to see if they would be willing to donate food to our event.
That would be good.
That's like, I know that Maize, for example, has donated food to different business events, like the IPSI Enterprise Association has events that they do. I know that different local businesses may be encouraged to want to participate and join in on a community wellness forum series and have a sponsorship in that way. So I'm trying to think of like, what are the biggest costs that we can attach a financial number to? And then the other things we try so hard to get donated.
So Fed Up Ministries,
For example,
local. Domino's also does a lot of stuff.
Is there a person that's going to see about getting food donated?
that's what I was gonna.
And I would like to help with that,
Daniel, would you like to be
finding
the
the.
lead food and cost helper?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Jen's helping with Bank of America.
So we still haven't, we really, like, we're dividing up labor, but we did some of that in the last minutes. And so if you check the last minutes, we did some of this
We did
already.
all of this already.
And so what we really, like, what you already said, Kat, is what we really do need to do is define a number and vote on a number to pass to Michelle to get from council. because we've done this.
To make a motion
Because
to
we
pass to
actually,
Michelle.
right,
To go to council.
because I think it was already Gail and Eric that were gonna do food. So we already have people doing food. What we really, like, what you already said, Kat, is that we need the number.
Right.
We
Yes.
don't need more workers, we just need to define the number.
Yeah, but I guess the process going on right now is just one of, okay, if we have to come up with a number, then we need to figure out. That's why, like,
It's gonna be.
there was never any shot this was getting done today, right? In my opinion, because now it's like, okay, we got to go see what we can get for free, and if not free, how much it's going to cost, and then we all come back and we've got to talk about what the number. You know what I mean? Like $1,500.
Let's,
Which that's
let's
the
get a number and then we work within our budget.
Right. And
About that?
So, but I think that's what we're saying. And so.
So
that's
if we
what
could,
Kat
if we
initially
could go
said.
down the list and just put a
Like
cost. to each of
$200,
these-
$200, $200.
Right,
$100.
and that's our budget.
Okay.
That's what we present. And then that's what, Councilwoman King can go to city council with. All right, so.
And then we work
Please
within
don't
it.
Send me with $1,500.
Exactly.
How about $1,450?
No.
2,000, I
mean,
just want to say
if-
$2,000 divided by 25 commissions. Chair Gail Wolkoff said it's like $80 per commission, which would be $160 for us. So just keep that in mind. We got $160 for 3 forum series, maybe. Unless we get
That's the bank.
more money from the bank.
That's the bank on deposit
Yeah.
in our account.
So can we look at this and what can we eliminate that does not have a cost?
I think we just need to pick a number right now first. If we know where we're,
So we know we know that the food, to me, the thing that's going to cost the most is F, the facilitator mediator compensation. You know, everything else can potentially be, in my mind, donated in some way, shape, or form. They don't, and so that would be $160 potentially, or $150 that we are going to offer our facilitator mediator
I think
for 3 sessions until we get more money, if we get more money.
So how much did you say we would be willing to pay?
I'm just going with the numbers that we have. I mean, for me, the one, if I look through this list, is we can potentially get, you know, the location free, we can potentially get food donated. The sound system is being donated. An ASL interpreter is, I don't know of one. So that might be a cost. Marketing materials, we could potentially get donated because there's many local businesses that are in the city that might be willing to do this. I can't speak for them. The materials for the events, that could potentially be donated or come from our houses. So it would be the facilitator, mediator compensation. That's just one voice speaking. I don't know what other people
I think you were on the right track, Gail.
feel we have it. So we are looking to ask our facilitator mediator to do all 3 sessions. Am I correct? Or if we don't get any extra money, for $160, if HRC wants to put their full $80 into this, and YPAC wants to put their full $80 into that, which means we don't have any
We're
money.
assuming every other commission's gonna ask for $80.
Right.
No, I'm just,
that
but we
too,
can't spend
we-
somebody else's money. I love spending other people's money, but we can't, I mean,
You know,
we know what we have.
If we are
Okay,
looking for a
so we
number
have-
here, could we just do 160 per session times 3 as the number that we give to you to bring to council? How about that? Let's just do that.
Could I have a-
$480. Okay.
And then Eric.
No, I was just gonna go back to, the facilitator moderator. Is it possible that maybe we could ask them to donate their time and then give them something that they can write off on their taxes?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we could do that, but that would be if I said if I was looking at this. So, yes, Kat,
So at the June 18th city council meeting, city council outside of the already approved budget decided to allocate over $150,000 to the police department for lasers or tasers, excuse me. So that I'm saying that as a point of council can allocate more money, should we need that? So just keeping that out there, that is a conversation that we can also ask for, especially in the way of framing it as so many people have been coming to public comments talking about this exact issue. I'm sure Councilmember King can attest to that. If Councilmember Tucson was here, maybe he could attest to that. Councilmember Will Coxon is here who could probably attest to that. A lot of public comment has been about homelessness, mental health, over policing issues, people being evicted from tents. These issues have been talked about. So I think if we frame it to council that we're trying to host a really important community forum series that is getting to action items for our community needs, maybe there's a way we could frame that to ask them for more money outside of our $80 per commission.
Like
so
that,
do
I
I
think.
have a motion
Most.
for $160 for 3 health community meetings to be held on, I don't know, do I want to give the days and times if they change? Are we going to get, no, I don't want, thank you, Eric. For HRC and YPAC to host 3 health community meetings, $160 a piece. So $160 times 3. I need a motion of that sort.
I would like to move that we ask city council for $1,200 to cover these 3 sessions. And let's see what they have to say.
Second.
Second that, yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I beat you. You can have it, Justin. I'm just joking.
I think that's
Wait, who seconded?
Justin.
Give it to Justin.
For the win.
I'll say aye though all day on that one.
Okay. Any discussion?
Don't ask.
Okay. Is this a verbal vote or a group vote?
I mean that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. So we have the motion.
Great.
Ask.
And who will be writing that on behalf of us to go to Councilmember King to go to council?
It doesn't need written.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It will just automatically go.
I'm gonna take it as part of
Automatically.
At the next
part
city
of-
council meeting.
her council for her.
It does-
Liaisons could do that, no.
Part of my report.
Great. And that's where it can get approved. Okay.
And we have B, we have C, D, which would be the goals for the 3-part community forum.
Now that we're thinking about maybe the second and the third might change subject to the first one of what the mediators and facilitators might find, it may be more worth our interest of time to just determine the goals we would like at least for the first one. What do others think about that?
Yes, I agree.
With that said, I would like to point out that we did talk about this at the last meeting, and we have a list of what the goals were. We spent a majority,
I did list. I didn't know how else to.
right, I mean, we did a majority of time
I was
on
trying.
talking about these.
I would like to point out, I am not on this roll call on this.
On the minutes that we.
Yeah,
just approved
for Thursday, June 27th. My name is not there.
We already approved the minutes. Is there a way to?
it. I'll fix them.
It's fine. It's just a name, guys.
Next time, bring up
That's a
that there
Need to do it.
to me. Somebody. Yes. I will fix them for sure.
I remember us talking about, I don't see them explicitly in that, but I took notes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to forget you, Jennifer.
It's fine. I remember us wanting to talk about identifying the agencies that are already existing, how people respond to crisis in the community, which includes like a bystander type of intervention. I know that those were the goals that I jot down, that we were just wanting people to know like how they can respond in a crisis and what resources exist around them. Those are the goals I had written down. Does anyone have differing things?
I feel like I recall us also saying like, hey, we've got some pretty solidly credentialed facilitators on this list of potential facilitators. Maybe we need to talk to them about like the way that we want to come at, like how we want to go into this. Since they do some of this, certainly more for a living than I do. I can't speak for the rest of you, but I don't remember where we left that part.
So it kind of sounds like maybe the bigger picture goal is for us as commissioners to gain a better understanding of what the community is wanting as actions in regards to these issues, for us to be able to advocate and leverage this power
That's
to
exactly
them.
right.
So then that's the goal. Cool. Great.
Awesome.
I think that settles that.
I would,
For the full goal of that?
I think that's, yeah, I think that, well, the first step is we need to reach out to our facilitators with the dates. And then once we do that and we confirm that they're available, we let them know that our goal as the joint commission body is that we would like to know what's going on, to be able to gain action items from these forums, to be able to take them to council, to be able to move forward different policy actions, et cetera, in relations to what people were sharing. And so how the facilitators meet said goal is kind of what Commissioner Mohammed said, is in their purview of, expertise. And ours is just, we just want to know what we can do to support them and then moving those actions forward.
so looking at the agenda, we've done D. E we talked about earlier, including dates. Determine the format, if I was hearing correctly, which is F. We were going to leave that to the facilitators or the mediators, but if I heard correctly, we wanted to have a combination of a whole group and make sure that we have breakout sessions, and then bringing the breakout sessions back together so people could share what they learned so everybody could hear. That's what I got from the last meeting and part of today. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's F. G is determine a marketing strategy to ensure effective advertising and community engagement with a diverse participation. Daniel had made up a brochure that none of us have. But I mean, no, that's just, but I guess the one thing that I would want to know as far as the marketing materials are, is what words do we want on this? And so we have, and do we want the same brochure marketing for all three with just the changing of the dates? So we get that somewhat of recognition of what we're doing. So that's, so we're on G. Daniel, you have?
Yep, just a comment on that. I did put together a flyer the other day, pretty quickly, but I wanted it to be able, it's just to give a forum of like, this is what it could look like. So again, if you like the words, we can change it up. Some of it was not relevant because like domestic violence was on there as well. But, so those are the things that any feedback along those lines, we can help to create whatever you need.
Thank you for doing that, Daniel.
I loved the look of it. I mean, it was very inviting. And I was trying to see if I could find it to show people.
It's on your, I texted it to you.
Um,
And I can make sure that, I think I sent an email out if everybody got that.
I was gonna say that's since our first forum starts on August 21st, and we want to make sure that we're having some marketing opportunity, it may make sense if we try to have at least a month opportunity to do that outside of the public hearing notices that city has to do. So I'm wondering if we give ourselves like till July 19th to have a final draft of a flyer done where everyone has been able to look at it and say it looks good. They've given their feedback. We presume no feedback is good feedback. And then at least by the 19th, we can have something finalized, and then for us to be able to print, et cetera, and have ready by that next week to be able to start dispersing materials.
But also, when are we going to come back together to to finalize everything before August 21st?
So the finalizing process, I was thinking that we would just email the city staff members for them to be able to get input from people on an individual basis, because we're not going to probably be able to have a joint meeting again before the 21st. But if we do individual input on, sorry, I get distracted. I was just thinking if we did individual feedback through our city staff liaison, and then that way we could have it finalized. But if you think another meeting would be helpful in that,
I'm just trying to figure out when we're going to.
I think it is important to set up another joint meeting, at least.
Well, no, it's not, it's going to cost such and such, and so how are we going to handle that? What is it we need to do?
If we had a point person in charge of marketing stuff, that would be,
Willing to help with that.
you got food, you got marketing.
Well, we realized
I'm
there
just
was somebody else that that's gonna get the food. But I can reach out to Domino's. We have another event, and one of our sponsors, I believe, got them to, maybe we can have for the marketing, specifically for that flyer too. If people want to email me back, we can fix it up and get it done pretty quickly.
So do you think, folks? So could the flyer be emailed out to the commissioners by the 12th? And then could people have their feedback in by the 19th
Well, why?
or the 17th?
Yeah, but what needs to be on it?
That's it. Yeah. So
So the logo needs to be on it. Is that correct?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
city
the
logo.
needs to be on it. Do both commission names need to be on it? Human
Yes.
race, okay, so both.
Yep, I can make that.
That's what I'm going through this. Can we talk community forum is what the way that we've talked about it. So that was the heading.
What is it?
Can we talk community forum?
Okay.
Okay.
Are the dates on there? Oh,
No, there's, no,
sorry. Go ahead.
go for it. I'm just going through what do we want on it? Because if Daniel's going to design a brochure, then what?
So I just seen it, and I don't think that we should use, as they say, trigger words. I think that could be disinviting to some individuals. They might say, oh, this is another one of those.
Okay.
So maybe just like keep it, do you have anything that you'd like to discuss with your council? Like, is there, like, can we talk? Let's have a discussion and eat.
Community.
I'm sorry,
Well-
pardon my ignorance. What are the words that are trigger words?
It's mental health,
The like mental health, domestic violence,
domestic
those?
violence,
Okay.
conflict resolution.
So go ahead, Justin.
Go ahead.
I think mental health has to be there. I
Right.
think keeping it open ended like that kind of is inviting. If we kind of isolate to certain subjects or topics, there might be only a few people groups of people that feel like they should be there.
Yeah.
And then again, going back to what you said about triggering words, I think that plays a part. You just want to get open so people feel like they're invited.
Okay, Kathleen?
No, I just said, I think mental health needs to stay on there because that was how all of this originated.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying
Um,
like the domestic
that's not-
violence.
Domestic
we
violence
didn't
and
talk
conflict
domestic violence.
resolution.
Talk
I'm not
about it.
quite sure how we got there.
The reason why that
But
was there
definitely
was
the mental
simply
health.
just we were filling in the blanks, saying this is what it looks like. If you
Gotcha.
want feedback. You can put
Okay.
any words there.
So then we have, because what we've been called, the words that we have been using, are the community a community health or community health forum. Katie, what words did you have in the last minutes?
Or which, for the,
I don't,
How about the City of Ypsilanti Human Relations Commission and Ypsi Police Advisory Commission invites you to Ypsi Can We Talk 3-part community forum series on community wellness. First one is August 21st about mental health at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
How's that?
Ipsy Can We Talk is used and coined by another group, so they might
Okay.
connect us with another. Just putting it out there that the Gail's worked really hard.
I
so-
put a community response to mental
Just
health.
can I say?
How about a community response?
It's Ipsy Can I Share. That is the group you're thinking of. Yeah, this Can We Talk, I'm just trying to utilize what was already written down
So
here.
what did you?
I said a city logo and it says Ypsi Police Advisory Commission and Human Relations Commissions invites you. And it says a 3-part. It says 3-part on there to indicate that future ones will be coming, but we don't include the dates on them should they be subject to change. And it says 3-part, and then it says first one, mental health, this day, August 21st at 6 p.m. with the location. We even maybe want to say food will be provided.
No,
Oh, no, we don't want to say
Never-
that.
no, no.
Okay, people like to hear that. People go up for that.
Right.
All right.
Light refreshment.
People show up for food.
language.
Like,
Okay. So go back to what you were saying about HRC, YPAC. And then after that, you mentioned, you went into the,
3-part community forum series on,
I would stop there, but then
And then
include
use
these
the
words,
statements
which was the community response to mental health crises or mental health ideas or mental health issues,
needs.
mental health needs.
sure.
Just, I mean, really, just stop it right there. 'Cause that says it, that folks will say, okay, well, let me go and talk about what I need.
Mhm.
That'll bring them in. That's the word need right there. You say
Yeah.
Crises, then you're going to,
Sure, I agree with that. People have a lot of associations with crises, and not every mental health situation is a crisis.
Right.
So the commissions.
so
Logo.
that takes a lot of the wording out, but it's clear
Mhm.
that we're going to talk about
I think the most
or their input.
important thing going off of that is the logo, the commission names, the date, mental health, and the words 3-part community forum series.
Thank you.
I think those are the most
Yeah.
important things to indicate on this flyer.
And the location, right?
And yes, thank you. And time.
Yes.
We don't care where they go.
So we have to hold off
happening.
until we have the locations.
Sure, but
So-
the flyer can already be getting started
Right. Oh,
and the
that's right.
draft go out, and you can just leave a locations blank there.
Need 'em.
So that way we can all give you our feedback still by the 19th.
No.
8:57, just to.
We
Yeah.
need a motion so we can move forward to give Daniel instructions on what he wants on the brochure or the flyer or the brochures. So we can, and so far what we have discussed is having
We,
the
the
logo,
logo,
commissions,
the commission names,
and then we want the dates.
the dates.
And that this is a 3-part
This
series
is a 3-part
in the
series.
community response to mental health needs.
And the community response. No, she's just.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm just
okay,
talking over
okay,
her
I understand.
rudely.
Okay.
And the community response to mental health
Needs.
needs.
Okay. Do we have a second?
We got it.
All
We
right.
got it.
Okay, Kathy has a.
Just got you back.
Oh, wait, what did we say about?
All in
Done.
favor?
Okay,
Aye.
any discussions? I thought you were gonna say you discussed.
What just
Any
happened?
discussions?
We want to mention
moved
something
it
about
along.
food, right? Or
Okay, no. Okay, any discussion?
okay.
Okay, all in favor of the motion that Eric just made concerning the brochure. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All
Uh,
opposed? Okay, moving forward.
It's 8:58.
Yes.
8:50. Thank you, Justin. I was just gonna go.
Honestly, I think that Herman, you said it best. I think we probably will need another joint meeting after the first meeting that we have, and then maybe those other items on here is. when we
Okay,
can
I'm
discuss
gonna
that.
stop this for a moment because I would like our city council representative to give a 2-minute update of what's happening with CMH within the city. So if you could give us an update on, and you literally have 2 or 1.5, but if you could give us an update, that would be fantastic.
So we did see we heard a presentation from Chief Moore, and I just wanted to confirm with the city manager today before bringing this. It is not a written agreement. It is just an agreement that we have, the Ypsilanti Police Department, with the Sheriff Department, that we are working together. And the calls will go through the dispatch. They will triage the call, and then they will send out the crisis team. The crisis team is hold on, they're in plain clothes, and it's an officer and a CMH provider. Dispatch will decide if both need to go. In some cases, they may send just the officer. In some cases, they may send both. In some cases, they may just send the CMH worker. But at all times, they will still be together in the car. It is my understanding that one may go out or 2 may go out.
And I used to work for one of those programs. There's the Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion and Deflection Program, and then there's the Co-Response Unit. Both are through CMH. And a lot of times the CMH employee will still utilize law enforcement services during crisis and response situations because they also don't feel adequately supported or trained to be able to provide that. And that's not because those individuals are inherently dangerous or violent. It speaks a little bit more to that, but
Okay.
yes.
I just wanted to make sure that we had an update. Do we have any timelines? So I just want these 2 commissions, as we're moving forward with mental health, to be aware that there has been changes.
What changes and what is this even regards to?
I
I'm
just, this
confused.
has to do with community mental health in the community, and we're talking mental health.
And,
So this
and I
is
do
just
not,
an
so let me just
FYI.
say, I do not have the timeline. He did give us a timeline. I'm sorry, I don't have
That's
that
perfect. Nope.
information tonight. All I know is we will have 2 teams, one for the day, one for the night. And that is all we have for the whole county.
Okay,
And
perfect.
The
Thank you
crisis
very much.
line is 544-3050, and that will reach that.
So wait, so we got,
We are at
an-
9:00. We are at 9:01. Does anybody want to make an extension to this meeting, or do I have an adjournment? Somebody or a motion to adjourn? Either one of them's perfect.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
well, I think we. I think-
Okay, thank you for coming to this meeting. This was awesome. Nice job, folks. Let's move
Don't we have a second
forward.
public comment? We got a second public comment. Hold on.
It's meeting's over. We can't. It's 9:00. We could have extended the meeting.
That's fine.
We're not voting on anything.
You don't have to stay.
We're not voting on anything.
I just want to clarify a couple things. Freight House is always up as a place,
Mhm.
and you can get the fees waived. So that becomes a,
Thank you.
that's happened before for various other things. There. University Bank, Steve Ranzini has a fairly good program for sponsoring community events. Do that. Budgeting for commissions. You guys were all just like taking 2,000 and dividing by 25 or whatever, but the best opportunity to get the funding you want is to have a budget and be able to explain to what the money's going for. So if you're getting a facilitator and you're getting food, and if you have estimates of what that's going to cost, then that goes a long way. And rather than just showing up with a number and saying, "Ooh, $1,200." So that's it. And to the point, allocating money from the general fund beyond what has been allocated Besides that $2,000, takes a 5-vote supermajority. So I just want to remind people.
Thank you.
Takes a what?
A
I vote.
5-vote supermajority,
Okay.
not just 4 people, 5 people. I would also suggest putting that as a resolution and not just coming from my colleague,
That's what I was gonna say.
Councilperson King, so that it's straightforward and it gets into the budget, or not the budget, but
To
the agenda earlier. And having somebody present that as budget.
We could do that.
And I think the notes that I have about the last thing with co-response was that it was supposed to be implemented July 7th.
Wait, July
I have a note here, July 7th, 2 teams. You know, this was the July 2nd meeting.
So they're saying that they hadn't had a program already because co-response unit has been going on
No,
already.
no, so they're expanding.
Oh,
They had
is this
one
the
team
lead
of 2,
program?
Now they have 2 teams.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So that was it.
Okay.
I think the expansion.
What was that
So-
bank name again?
What's that?
What was that bank name again?
University Bank.
University Bank.
Thank you. And on the resolution with the budget that you just suggested, would you suggest that it has specific items detailed with the numbers explicit? And that would come from, would a commissioner write that, or would our liaison write that?
It could come from, anybody could write it, but it could get put on the agenda.
Could we do it at the YPAC?
Deadline for getting on the agenda for next meeting is 1 o'clock on Friday. So if somebody puts that language together and gives it to yourself.
So we don't have to have a full commission. So we could do this before the next YPAC meeting?
Yes.
Or do we have to have it?
That's the problem. You know, typically what you want is the resolution to be voted on here specifically. And so if you put a resolution and just say, I want $1,200, I mean, we can make a motion ourselves to say, this is what it is. It would be helpful to have.
Andrew said, what did he say about the process?
I'm happy to work on that before the Friday deadline, if that's something that would be helpful to our group.
Basically, you could present it to the 2 of us.
Correct.
And 2 of us could get it on the agenda.
And I would be utilizing the $1,200 ask that our motion was done. I'm happy to write down some things and pass it around, so. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
I'm sorry, and I know you guys already adjourned, but I really, really appreciate what you're doing. I hear your frustration, and I know it's not easy bringing 2 commissions together to try and get something done. However, when we were talking about drug checking, I did not hear any real opposition from you guys at all, and I pointed out that the support that we would need to come from the joint commissions. So then hearing later in the meeting that you don't have another joint commission meeting scheduled before August 21st is kind of concerning to me, because this is something that is affecting folks right now, and people are suffering and dying every day. So it would have been it would have really helped out to hear you guys either resolve as a joint commission to draft a resolution, the resolution that we talked about during that presentation today, to resolve to do that as a joint commission, and then come back together at your next meeting and follow through on that resolution, or to schedule another meeting to then resolve to draft that language. Like either one of those would have satisfied that, but you guys closed the meeting. You didn't really do either. And I'm wondering then where that leaves this resolution from the joint commissions to operationalize drug checking in Ypsilanti. Because that, again, the data in that presentation is all real. And I understand like that what you guys have to do here takes like time out of your day, but what you're talking about right now happens to be like really, really impactful when we talk about mental health, and we talk about public safety, and we talk about the housing crisis. These are like really, really, really important things that affect people's quality of life every single day. And so like it was pointed out that like even though these conversations are really important, action is necessary in order to make change. And I'm sorry to present another police response as positive change is really, really disconnected from any community engagement that has happened in the city of Ypsilanti. Everyone who is suffering, who you ask, hey, do you feel better when the cops come out if you're having a mental health crisis? They will tell you absolutely not. It's not helpful. The community has been engaged. We've gotten these answers. So I just I I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I know like there's just it's a lot of moving parts. But whatever you can do to get this drug checking resolution on the agenda as soon as possible, so that city council feels like adding it to their agenda again, so that we can get that passed and operationalize our program in Ipsy, the sooner we can start collecting data on what the drug supply is looking like in Ipsy, we can start getting risk reduction counseling done, and people will stop dying. Like it'll work. You know what I mean? So like just please, I don't know what you need to do to make it happen. But there would be a lot of really grateful people if you do.
Thank you.
I want to just as well, I think it seems like the process is that we're gonna take some time to look at all the information as well and process what you just gave. This is